With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
New season, new chaos in college football.
Let's go! Big stage, big opportunity.
This Labor Day weekend, the wildness lives on ABC, ESPN, and the all-new ESPN app.
What a way to start!
Featuring top 10 teams like Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and LSU, and Bill Belichick's debut at North Carolina.
It's so special when these teams collide.
Don't miss a lineup filled with electric matchups.
Welcome back to college football.
Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Labor Day weekend on ESPN and ABC. Also available to stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I wasn't even going to record this episode tonight, but yeah, I seen the clip of Rampage Jackson's son getting into it with a wrestler. Yeah, he pretty much tried to kill that guy. You know, like, I think we can all state the obvious. And that's the thing that trips me out about people's lack of knowledge when it comes to wrestling, that you're not there to hurt people. You're not there to try to kill people and stuff. What Rampage Jackson's son did, like, it's one of those things where if you guys, because I really don't know how to describe it. Like, it's a scary video to watch. Because, like, you're seeing a man, like, literally inches away from death. I'm saying, like, you have it where it's a former UFC fighter's son, which means that whatever the dad knows, talking on Rampage Jackson, the son is most likely going to know, right? I'm pretty sure throughout his son's life, Rampage Jackson taught this man how to fight, all right? Now, the thing that confuses me is that you know how to fight. You know how to defend yourself. It was even a situation where it was like the guy. Because like, I feel like I need to tell the whole story before I just kind of like jump into add my opinion to the matter. So anyways, Rampage Jackson's son, I think his name is Raja Jackson or something like that. But anyways, him and the wrestler he tried to kill, they had a confrontation beforehand. Now, I guess to give you guys a little bit of knowledge behind wrestling, there's at times where wrestlers, they might hit each other, but like it's one of those things where they don't mean it. They don't mean to cause damage. Comparing it to how Rampage Jackson's son was hitting the guy, yeah, you don't see that in wrestling. If you see something like that in wrestling, them wrestlers is really fighting. But for the most part, like if you watch WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I said, there's moments where I feel like wrestlers, they do take things too far. And yeah, they'll do some things where it's like, you're going to mess around and find yourself getting fired. So you can't do that no more. But for the most part, nowadays, like if you watch wrestling, you don't see that. You don't see where wrestlers be really fighting like that. It may look like that they really fighting. It may seem like that they really hate each other. But the funny thing is, with wrestlers, you'll see where they be out there saying like a bunch of different crap about each other. They're like, oh, I hate your guts. I wish you never would have came back to the business. Oh, I can't wait till this weekend. I'm going to end your career. Going to the back, make them a plate at the catering table, go into the locker room. They just sitting there just talking about their lives. They're like, oh yeah, I seen that your kid, he just started high school. It's like, how's that going? Like, is it a good high school? Because I'm thinking about sending my kid to the same. Like, these guys are the best of friends. Like, I've never been into a WWE locker room, but just based off of from what I hear from wrestlers when they do talk about the locker room, they always say good things about it. So I'm assuming that the locker room, it ain't no different than I guess like that back room at your like local 9 to 5. Like everybody's just chilled with everybody. Everybody's conversating, talking about their personal lives, cracking jokes, all that stuff. You know, so in wrestling though, like I guess to describe the technique of wrestling, because I've been watching wrestling since I was like 10 years old, because I got into it in 2007. So yeah, like 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old, because I remember I was in elementary. So yeah, I was 10 years old when I started watching wrestling. And as a kid, yeah, you know, you think like these guys is really hitting each other, but as you get older, you realize like, hey, wait a minute, they ain't really hitting each other like that, you know? Funny thing is, still entertained by wrestling. Still watch it all the time. Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night NXT, Friday night SmackDown, Wednesday night AEW, Saturday night AEW, pay-per-views that come on the weekend, highlights, all that stuff, TikToks. Like, I am a wrestling fan. So the one thing that I do pay attention to is when these guys are making sure of the other wrestlers' safety when they're in the ring. So you'll see where they might like hit each other, but they kind of like they don't close their fists up where it's like a hardened fist. Like, no, they kind of like loosen it up a little bit so it looks like a fist, but you're not really getting hit like, you know, like full fist to the face and things. Like at most of these guys, like it's either they'll like fake hit at you or they'll hit you kind of like in the side of like your like neck shoulder area, so it can kind of like cushion the blow, and you ain't like, yeah, you ain't taking a whole fist to the chin, because you got to think about it. These wrestlers are like, at most, like an average size wrestler is like 6'2", over 200 pounds, all right? Like over 6 feet tall and over 200 pounds. So you think about it, there's these highly trained athletes that's hitting you across the head. Yeah, that mess is going to hurt, you know? So don't nobody want to get hit across the head, all right? So anyways, but going back to talking on like Rampage Jackson and stuff. So yeah, they don't really be hitting each other like that. Like they make it seem like that they're hitting each other, but they don't really be hitting each other like that. So going back to talking on Rampage Jackson's son. So to give you guys a little bit of context, what led to the moment where his son tried to like end this man's life and things. So I'm assuming that they were kind of just, you know, like the wrestler, he was just kind of giving him a feel of what wrestling is like. Like these guys, they're gonna try to they're not being serious, but they're gonna act like they starting some stuff with you, you know. And I know people are gonna probably like try to defend him and make it seem like that, oh well, if you don't know, no, that's the thing, you do research. Like the thing is this, if I'm inside of a wrestling environment and these wrestlers is all like, oh, you suck at YouTube, and I'm all like, well, you know what, I'm a better wrestler than you. Like, I'm adding on to it and things. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, I'm going to get upset at something that they say. Like, I know what they're doing. I know what their job is. Like, their job, like the thing is this, in a wrestling environment, they are a wrestler. If I'm standing across from Randy Orton and stuff, I'm not talking to what was his like Randall Keith Orton. I'm talking to Randy Orton. I'm not talking to Randall outside of wrestling. Yeah, let's say we're at a Foot Locker or something. Then I'm talking to Randall Keith Orton. But when we're inside of a wrestling environment, I'm talking to Randy Orton. So we're all in character, you know? So anyway, so yeah, he hits me with an RKO in the middle of the ring. He hits me with an RKO in the middle of the ring. I can't do nothing about that. But that's the thing, though. They usually go over that stuff. They talk about it. I guess like maybe with the indie shows and all that, it might be a little bit different. But yeah, you know, to ensure of a person's safety. And so that's what had happened. So him, Rampage Jackson's son, and the wrestler, they're having a standoff. I didn't like hear, like maybe I should have like listened to it, and I think I might end up doing that too, just to hear what they were saying back and forth to one another and stuff. But I did see the part where the guy had took like a soda can or whatever, and it didn't look like he hit him, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I imagine you got this wrestler that's like literally towering over you and stuff. Like, I would imagine that you ain't gonna just take the hit and just go on about your business and so, or like, yeah, start trying to challenge this guy to a fight. But so he takes his can, he hits it across Rampage Jackson's head. It looked like he might have like just like he didn't connect the can to his head, but yeah, the stuff sprayed all over the place. I think he was just more so upset that he got wet by the soda or beer, whatever it was supposed to be and things. But maybe, like I said, maybe I should listen to the audio and see. I will probably end up doing a video talking about this, but I did want to just do a podcast episode where I'm just kind of capturing my reaction to the whole situation and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, they kind of have a standoff, and people were saying that the guy apologized like 3 different times, like he didn't realize that was going to upset him and stuff. And so anyways, later on that night, so the wrestler he's wrestling, Rampage Jackson's son, is supposed to get involved in the match. Now, it seemed like that with the like throwdown move that he did, like it did seem a little bit too aggressive, but it could have just stopped there, right? So yeah, Rampage Jackson's son, he gets involved. He lifts the wrestler up that did like the fake hit on him and stuff with the can. But yeah, he lifts him up, slams him directly down onto the mat and stuff. So yeah, I imagine something like that's gonna hurt and things. So if anything, he could have just, and I guess like, I don't know, like if he's not upset, yeah, like tackle the wrestler, get on top of him, act like you got him in like a headlock, and then just be like hitting at your arm and stuff. That's what I would do. I'm doing fake hits. I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys might see that I'm hitting, but I'm like, okay, it's either hitting my arm or hitting this guy in the head. I don't want to hit this guy in the head because he don't deserve that. I'm not really fighting this guy. Like, that's the thing that people need to understand with wrestling, is that wrestling, yes, make it look real, but it doesn't need to be real. So you don't need to really hit a wrestler in the head. Like, the thing is this, to anybody out there that is getting involved in wrestling, do not purposely put people in danger, all right? So anyways, so he lifts the guy up, Rampage Jackson's son, he lifts the guy up, throws him down, gets on top of him, hammering his head in, bro. I mean, it was scary. Like, I think this was the one time where I truly have felt scared. Usually you hear where it's like the wrestler, it's like the whoever it is that's not a wrestler, they get involved, you're scared for them. Like Bad Bunny, scared for him. Logan Paul, scared for him. I'm trying to think of some other people that got involved. Like any celebrity that's not a wrestler, scared for them, right? This was the first time I ever felt scared for a wrestler, because Rampage Jackson's son, he's literally over this guy, hammering his head in. Got to the point, so like there's a very like small part of the video where you see the guy afterwards, like he's covered in blood, like the man that like bleeding from the ear, blood on his face, and I'm like, bro, that's not good, man. That is not good at all. I'm like, I don't think. The thing is this.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Even with somebody that I have like genuine beef with, unless I felt that my life was threatened, there is no reason to leave a person. If anything, I want to embarrass them, but I don't want to end their lives if they ain't never. I mean, yeah, it's obviously going to be my life over theirs, but at the same time, if there's no threat detected, why am I putting somebody through some stuff like that? Like, why am I putting myself in a situation where I can face a lawsuit? So yeah, anyways, a bunch of people got involved. Like, it was like all these different wrestlers, they all grabbed Rampage Jackson's son, put him in the corner, because they realized, like, them are real hits. Like, he's hitting that guy across his head and stuff. Like, he can, like, end this man's life and things. So they're trying to calm him down. He's still trying to fight with the guy. That's the part that's tripping me out. It's like, this man ain't even moving. Like, you could have potentially, the thing is this, let's just say we didn't know of the extent of this guy. You could have potentially killed this guy right then and there in that ring. This man has his whole life ahead of him, but he's going to die in the ring because you don't know the difference between real fighting and wrestling fighting and stuff. So anyways, then the video ends. And then, yeah, so I'm seeing this clip because, like, so no, that was the first tweet that I had seen was, and shout out to Dexertu. But anyways, Dexertu tweets out saying Rampage Jackson has confirmed the wrestler, his son, Raja, appeared to knock out Psycho Stu, that's the wrestler name, is alive, stable, and recovering. That's how bad it was, to where that had to have been said about him. Like, bro, that's how you know you took things too far. Where it's like, we need to know whether or not this man is still alive, because yes, that's how bad it was. Like I said, the man, his face was covered in blood and he was bleeding from the ear. That was something that I had seen. Like, I didn't even have to like see a tweet. I'm looking at the photo. So eventually somebody had like took that like clip that they show, you see his head. There's like a photo, and I don't recommend, I mean, if you want to see the video and all that stuff, you very well can, to look at it at your own risk. But it's something where it's like, you know, you're fearing for a person's life. Like, yeah, you know that the man's okay, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of hard to watch, you know. So, but yeah, it's like, I seen blood coming from that man's ear. You see blood coming from a person's ear, it's like they definitely have some sort of head damage like that. No, and that's how hard he was hitting him. And I think there's like, it was, because I wasn't even keeping count, but yeah, somebody out there, they was counting, and the guy got hit across the head by Rampage Jackson's son 22 times. So it's, and the thing, and his son ain't no small dude. He ain't like, if you guys have seen me or know what I look like, he's bigger than me, I would assume, and stuff. So yeah, it's like, and then you see Rampage Jackson, he ain't no small dude either. So I imagine his son, even if you've never seen his son before, you know that he's a big dude. If he's like his dad, he's most likely a big dude. All right. So yeah, you got somebody at a decent size hitting you across the head 22 times. Like, yeah, that's gonna do some sort of damage and stuff. So yeah, people, they're already going against Rampage, because I guess, like, yeah, they were streaming this on Kick too, because it did look like it was a live stream. So they were streaming this, got permanently banned. That knew that was gonna happen, because you just tried to end somebody's life over some wrestling stuff. Like, you know, the thing is this, like, I always have thought about that. Like, I would love to get involved in wrestling, but that's one thing about it. A wrestler can say whatever they want to say about me. They can say that you'll never be a professional wrestler. Okay, you suck at YouTube. All right, you get no views on Twitch. Okay, cool. Your videos, everything, music, all that stuff, it's horrible. It's all like, you're single. It's like, I'm trying to think of some other things. They can say some of the most disrespectful stuff of all time. I guess with me, I just let stuff roll right off of me. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they'll get a reaction out of me where it's like all the referees and all that stuff. Maybe they say some stuff like, hey, your shoe game is whack. Now I'm like, oh, now we got it. And I'm like, nah, bro, forget all this wrestling stuff. We gotta go take this to the streets. But jokes aside, though, I'm like, nah, bro. It's one of those things where a wrestler they don't even have to like talk with me about like, okay, like, just understand, like, I'm like, fam, you ain't even got to explain it to me. I already know. You go out there. My thing is this. I want, like, if it's like I'm having a conversation with like Randy Orton or something, and he's like, I'm trying to think of somebody, a Drew McIntyre. He's all like, hey, look, well, like, Drew McIntyre, he got a distinctive accent and stuff, so I can't really impersonate that accent and things, but just let's just say, you know, like, simulating and stuff. But yeah, he approaches me and he's all like, hey man, like, you know, I don't know if what your knowledge is with wrestling. Like, hey bro, whatever you want to say it. I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I understand what this is. I understand what wrestling is. Like, fam, there's been people that have called me the N-word. There's people that have, if the thing is this, if you plan on doing that, there ain't gonna be a conversation with me. That's gonna be a conversation with millions of wrestling fans and the WWE and the higher ups. They were like, what do you got going on? So yeah, it's like, okay, obviously you can't do no stuff like that, but it's like, yeah, bro, whatever it is that you want to say about me, say it. It's like, at the end of the day, I know you don't mean it. I know it's just like, this is just you know, for the entertainment aspect of wrestling and stuff. So yeah, bro, it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I pay attention to world wrestling entertainment and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but I definitely pay attention to that entertainment part in WWE. So yeah, it's like, you ain't gotta explain that stuff to me. My thing is this. Drew McIntyre, he does his Claymore kick. My thing is this. What I have to do, I guess, in response is sell it. So yeah, and bro, I'm telling you right now, I'll be selling it right then and there in the ring, outside the ring, fam. I would get on this podcast and I would still be selling it. I'm like, yeah, bro, my jaw, it still hurts from getting that Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre. I'm like, bro, where were the referees at? Like, the thing is this, you would think, and I think that's the beauty of wrestling, is how good the acting is, because you would like genuinely think like these wrestlers got heat and beef and drama and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's one thing about it, is that you should never take that stuff seriously. So man, that's why I'm like, yeah, Rampage Jackson's son, I'm like, yeah, bro, you need to stay off to yourself, because I'm like, you don't need to be getting involved, I guess, with like stuff like that. I'm saying, if you want to like get involved in UFC, and that's the thing, it's like, you know that you can't hit a person across the head that many times. So like, that's why I'm like, what were you trying to do? And I think because Rampage Jackson, he did make some tweet defending his son, and I'm like, I get it. At the end of the day, like that's your son, you defend him and stuff. But he did make it clear though, like he didn't support his actions or any of that stuff. I'm trying to find the tweet that Rampage Jackson had made. Okay, so here it goes. So there's Rampage Jackson. So like, after the video and all that stuff came out, Rampage Jackson tweeted out, I want to clear up the misinformation about my son Raja. I've been confirmed that the wrestler Stuart Smith, aka Psycho Stu, is awake and stable. Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match. Raja was told that he could get his payback in the ring. I thought it was a part of the show. It was bad judgment and a work that went wrong. Raja is a MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago. I think I did see that, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, okay, my thing is this, tell them people that's one of those things where it's like, bro, communicate with that about that type of stuff. Don't just allow people to hit you across the head, because my thing is this, if I know that I got a concussion, then I'm telling this wrestler that, I'm like, hey bro, I'm like, I don't know if you've seen the clip or not, because I know what I know about that. So they were, him and Rampage Jackson's son and another guy were sparring. The guy kicked Rampage Jackson's son in the head, and then even then he was fighting with the guy. So I'm like, okay, that might be justified, because that guy, I'm like, kick in the head, that can end your life and things, depending on how hard the kick is and stuff. So that can end your life. I can understand why you would be getting mad at some stuff like that, but a wrestler, it's like, bro, my thing is this. I guess, yes, with the concussion, it probably hurt to an extent, but it's like, fam, the way that he was standing his ground, it didn't seem like it was like, oh, he's laid out and he's like, oh my god, like, bro, my head, it's like I got like a horrible headache, like I ain't never had no concussion before, don't ever want to have a concussion. But yeah, it seemed like that he was all right. I can't judge his, I guess, pain tolerance and stuff. Maybe he was just really good at hiding it, but it's like, okay, my thing is this, if it was that bad, you should have left. But I'm like, it shouldn't have been a thing where it's like, you are trying to kill this man and things, because you were still standing when he hit you across the head. Was that man still standing when you were hitting him across the head, across his head? No, he wasn't. So anyways, but continuing on what Rampage Jackson says. So there's like, he suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. As a father, I'm deeply concerned with his health and the well-being of Mr. Smith. That being said, I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern is now that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery. I apologize on his behalf and to Kick for the situation. Yeah, bro, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I really do hope that wrestler, he's all right. He can continue on his career. Definitely gonna probably be out for a while, but hopefully he's okay, because that's something that nobody deserves to go through. I'm like, I don't care how upset. And it looked like in the clip, like he shook his hand. So it's like, bro, you did that. You shook this man's hand, made it seem like you were chill with them just to turn around and do what you did. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, his son, I'm like, you definitely got some issues, bro, to do some stuff like that. So, but anyways, yeah, I probably will do like a follow up, see if there is any information else, or anything else that comes out of this. But prayers out to Psycho Stu. I think that's the wrestler's name. Psycho Stu. So yeah, prayers out to him. Hopefully he's all right. and he can continue wrestling and stuff, because that would be messed up to get his career cut short because somebody don't know how to control their anger. So, but anyways, with that being said, I would talk, and that's another thing too, like, because I know people will probably ask, like, oh, well, what would I do in this situation like that? My thing is this: if I know that I'm capable of hurting this man and ending his life, I'm leaving. I'm like, because there's been numerous times before where I'm like, I done got into it with people, and I'm like, you know what? Because I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I really want to do. I'm going to leave the situation because I know that there's something bad can come out of this, and then I'm going to be the one paying the consequences for it and stuff, not them, you know, yeah, for that moment being and stuff, and they ain't going to ever mess with me again. But I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and just, you know, let things be, because if I don't, then yeah, like I said, I know what I'm capable of, and I don't want it to get to that point. So, but anyways, yeah, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.